Hi, this is Randy. A viewer that's been following my channel for quite a long time sent me a message and is distraught right now because of a current situation where she was duped by someone that she has known or been in contact with for 15 to 20 years. And it is a male, a man who was married when they met and was just friends, but they seemed to have carried on some kind of contact that seemed work related, possibly an emotional affair type of thing, and both having other relationships at the same time. And then when the viewer that contacted me with a question, when she became single and found out that this man was divorced or was on his way to get a divorce, she started up a long-distance relationship with him, living in different states. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about long-distance relationships. I am very, very leery, and I am against long-distance relationships. Now, it's different if you're married and you've been married for a few years or so, and one of the two of you have to go somewhere for work for a month, and you're coming back, or one of you is in the military and you have to go to Afghanistan on leave, you get deployed, and then you come back. Now, we've also heard stories about what happens when the man gets back. Oftentimes, the wife is no longer there. She's had affairs, she's felt like she's been left, and she's cheated, and the guy in the military finds out, and the marriage is broken. But even that is more understandable than beginning a relationship with somebody who you barely know and you only know mostly through texts and emails. It doesn't matter how many years you text and how many times a day you text. My belief is that you cannot get to know someone through an electronic device. You cannot get to know someone through texting, emails, or Skype. You cannot develop a relationship. What you develop is a fantasy and an attachment to mostly what is in your head. And I know the viewer who asked me this question is not going to like my answer. It's not going to feel good, but you're not the only one who does this. Many men do it, many women do it. They're lonely, and we do have the assistance of technology, which makes it almost irresistible to start conversations with people who do not live within daily driving distance of one another, whom you will develop some kind of fantasy relationship, calling each other your boyfriend or girlfriend, while not knowing a thing about what that other person is really doing in their day-to-day life. Remember, you can text someone anywhere. A man can be in bed with his wife. As soon as she falls to sleep, he can begin texting his girlfriend while laying in the same bed with his wife. She'll never know the difference. You can excuse yourself to go to the restroom and send a few texts in there, in the bathroom, and no one will ever know. There are so many opportunities for you to cheat through texting while you are living with someone else, let alone even easier when you're just dating someone else. You can juggle many, many long distance relationships, short distance relationships, if all you're doing is texting, sexting, and Skyping. You can feel like you've gotten to know all of these different people very well, but you don't know them because you don't live with them. They're not accountable to you. There's no accountability. There's no way of checking up on lies. For people who like to lie, it's very easy to get away with a lie when you know that the person you're lying to cannot drive right over to your house within an hour and catch you in your lie. You know you're not going to be caught. So if you are the type who lie and want to lie to get away with things, then you can develop many, many relationships and have them all going at the same time, if that's what you want to call it. Mainly what it is it's an emotional affair without the physicality. And as long as you keep it that way and you're satisfied with just texting, fine. But most people want more. And if you're going to visit the person once a month for 2 or 3 days, and then text every day, and then visit them, they visit you 2 or 3 days, that relationship could go on for 20, 30 years. You could think that that was your boyfriend, and the only reason he's not moving to you or you to him is because of your jobs. You can tell everyone you have a boyfriend. You can take pictures together. You can have sex once a month. But that is not really acceptable to most people. It's crumbs. It's not enough. And it's something that allows both people, if they choose, to kind of live in this fantasy world where they have a dual life, or more than a double life, 3 lives, 4 lives, 5 lives. Our technology can allow someone to keep so many different relationships going as long as they can remember the names of the people and some of the things in their head. That's why when sometimes online a guy will ask me, and if I give him my phone number, he'll ask me to send him a picture. And I know why he wants it, because it's not because he hasn't seen my pictures on the profile. It's that he wants to put my picture in his phone, along with my name and my phone number in his contacts, along with the other 50 or 100 women's name and pictures and phone numbers, so that whenever he's lonely, he can go through his phone and he can remember me by what my picture looks like. But it does not mean that he knows me any better than anybody else. And I just don't understand the point of long distance relationships. So my answer to this person is that, she wants to know what happened, because this relationship abruptly ended after she chose to surprise this man on New Year's Eve and show up in his town. And of course, he was not there, and he was supposedly sick and going to be home all weekend, and he wasn't there when she got there, and basically didn't give her any answers that were suitable, ruined her New Year's Eve, and now she's left without understanding any kind of closure. Basically, what happened is you were lied to, and who knows how many ways and how many forms and how often you were lied to, because when someone's across state, it's so easy to lie to them because you're not going to get caught. And if that's the type of person you are, as it seems this man probably is, what he does is he's lying. And I can't say he's a narcissist because I don't know him well enough to say that. And apparently you don't either. Despite 15 or 20 years of texting, maybe laughing, talking on the phone. I mean, take it for what it was. It consumed some of your time. It gave you some pleasant thoughts. It made you feel that you had somebody to depend on. It made you feel that you had a boyfriend. What did it make him feel? I have no clue. Because he's not present. And he's a liar. And you wouldn't know that unless you spent more time with him. One-on-one, face-to-face. And that's why I insist on one-on-one, face-to-face. The rest is fluff. The rest is unreliable information. People can text from anywhere. It didn't used to be the case. We didn't used to have cell phones. If you had to make a call, you had to use the landline, and the other person would know what phone number you called because it would show up on your phone bill. In order to sneak around, you had to go to a pay phone, it was much harder. You didn't meet people online. There was no Skype, and there was none of this fantasy stuff where you hear, oh, I met my husband online from across the state, from across the country, or from another country, and now we live happily ever after. Those stories are few and far between, and I'll never believe it. I'll never go for it. I'll never believe it would happen to me. I'll never try it. I'll never trust somebody who I can't check up on and drive to his house and see if he's lying. If I so desire, if I get an inkling that he's lying, I'm not going to be across the state and try to figure it out. He's going to be right here with me, and I'm going to catch him in his lies. Other than that, I'm just going to assume that everybody's lying, because you don't get to know somebody through devices. And they can present any way that they want to present, any way that you want them to present. And it's all fluff, and you should take it as all fluff until you meet the person face to face. And if you're going to meet face to face and you do that for a series of times, it still means nothing. It doesn't mean anything until you actually move very close to that person and spend a lot of quality time with the person to find out that they truly don't have other people in their life. They aren't, running a double and a triple life. All they do is work, spend time with their kids, and spend time with you. And that might be a far out kind of an expectation, but that's my expectation. When I get in a relationship, the guy's going to go to work, and then he's going to spend all the rest of the time with me. And if there's holes in his accountability, forget it. Forget it. I'm not doing that again. So my answer to what happened with you, viewer, is that you got involved into a long-distance relationship that you felt was more than it really was, and you weren't close enough to check up on any inconsistencies, and you allowed a relationship to develop where the person could lie very easily, and apparently he did. Thanks for listening.